Ford is facing more scrutiny than ever before, and a growing number of Americans believe the company is heading down the path of no return. But before the video starts, if you like this kind of content, make sure to like the video and subscribe. We upload every day, so there's always something new waiting for you. But with that being said, let's get back into the video.
People don't believe me when I tell them Ford makes the worst truck on the planet. I don't care what nobody says. Look, right now I'm looking at this Ford. Just so you know, it's a 2018 with 94,000 miles. They make a great body style, right? It's gorgeous. You open it up inside, nice, right? Beautiful. Nice little technology. It's a nice looking truck. Smells like oil, rattles, shakes, vibrate. What's up with every Ford truck? It has the Ford. This is a cockapooey land. You know, my customer wants a Ford, but you buy some shit like this and then they hate you forever. This is a huge piece of shit. I'm walking away. If he wants a Ford, tell him to go to Ford. I'm done. I give up. I'm not buying no Ford trucks. I just can't do it to myself.
So Ford is becoming the king of recalls. They're becoming the king of fees. They're becoming the king of just piss poor quality. And they're not really going to be offering a ton of compelling vehicles, and absolutely none at an affordable price. But they've admitted that their quality control has just kind of gone out the window. And their pricing is now totally crazy. I mean, it's 55,000 bucks for a Ranger. But one of the things that Ford is doing, they're going to charge $2,695 for their destination charge. It's ridiculous. 75 grand. It's just Ford doesn't have the kind of quality that you should be paying that kind of money for.
Who's spending $85,000 on an F-150? I just don't get, as the cars get newer, they're getting built cheaper. On the first glance, they look nice, right? The suede, you got the leather, you got the stitching, right? It looks nice. Then, plastic, everything's plastic. Yeah, they're also plastic, but you had fabric. And then this actually is like a pleather, as you can see right here as it chipped. It has a leather pleather skin on top of it. We don't even get that on the new trucks. It's just straight up plastic. And don't even get me started on the screens. What happens when these screens break? What are you gonna do? Throw away the truck? This one has that special tailgate. Comes down like that. This actually even has, I mean, why do I need it to lift itself? Like, why did I need that? And then it has the mid-gate thing that comes out this way. Can't even get a V8. This is a hybrid V6. I mean, that's crazy. They're all moving this way to getting rid of the V8s. Old trucks get the 500,000 mile LS Vortec motors that just go forever. New trucks don't even have V8s anymore. I mean, it's just crazy. See right there, look at it. This is a truck that only has 10,000 miles. It's not even a year old, and look at the rust on that differential.
You guys want to know how to unlock a Ford? You hit the unlock button a whole bunch of times. Sometimes in a pattern. Sometimes you hold it for a while. And eventually, it might. Nope. Maybe. Wait for it. Unlock. Piece of
Just when you thought things couldn't get any worse for Ford truck and SUV owners, it does. A long time ago, Ford used to use the slogan, "Built Ford Tough." But lately, it seems like their truck and SUVs are not so tough anymore.
Built Ford Tough military grade Dr. Pepper can. This might be tough enough for your grandpa if he buys it just to take Gam to the Golden Corral once a month, but God forbid you ever want to go use these things for work. 5,000 miles. Pulled a stock trailer twice, and my tailgate looks like it survived a Nigerian rebellion, all peppered up to shit. And here's the Dr. Pepper can military grade strength aluminum. Bam, coming home from the dealership. 3 cents in the door already. So what did I do? Went and got mud flaps to combat that. Guys, Ford are not built tough anymore. They put the thinnest layer of paint they can on them. We're gonna make it as cheap as we can, package it as expensive as we can, and sell you a giant bundle of dog shit. That pickup was built Ford tough.
Over the past few years, the quality of Ford vehicles has continued to go down, and their number of recalls have continued to go up. It's actually getting so bad that Ford was #1 in recalls out of every manufacturer for 2023 and 2024. And as of today, another massive recall was just announced that affects over 270,000 Ford Bronco and Ford Maverick vehicles. And to make matters worse, Ford's known about it for years, but actually chose to ignore it. This actually led to the NHTSA giving Ford a fine for moving too slowly on these recalls.
I gotta just ask, at what point are these companies going to take some personal responsibility when you have other companies like Toyota and Honda having record quarters? At what point do we say to these companies like, hey, you can blame whoever you want, whether you like the president or not. You can look at this and go, you guys don't make reliable vehicles. Yeah, there's F-150s out there, like there's Silverados out there over 250,000 miles. Both these companies make good trucks. But like the rest of the vehicles, like are all crapping out at 150, 160,000 miles, need a whole new transmission, very expensive repair cost. Like you can throw Stellantis in there and like Jeep and Land Rover and all these are completely unreliable vehicles, like really high repair cost, like no longevity to the vehicle for the most part, except for the trucks. And so like you can keep blaming other things, but I just look at this and I'm like, at what point are you guys going to have something that'll go 300,000 or 400,000 miles like a Honda or Toyota will? So if you're buying something at this point, I like it if like, I get it. You want to buy, you know, a US company or something like that. That's fine. I understand it. But the number of failed brands under each of these major logos shows you that a lot of this stuff just doesn't end up lasting and the quality is just no good. So like I bought a truck recently. Like I love the way the Silverados look. I wanted to buy a Silverado for 6 months. I was like, black Silverado, like black tint, everything, all like matte black out. It was amazing, like exactly what I wanted. But like there's a lot of Tundras and Tacomas driving around at like 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 miles. Drive down the highway right now. See how many Tacomas are out there at like 300,000 plus miles. Just truck it along, no problem. And ultimately my decision was to get a Tundra. I'm a big guy, I need a little bit more room. And I gotta pay for it, right? You gotta pay more for a Tundra than a Tacoma. But ultimately, it just makes sense at that point. Like, yeah, there are Fords and there are Silverados that are out there. There are trucks that are pretty decent. But for the most part, 150, 160,000 miles, you're gonna go, this vehicle is too expensive to maintain. I'm gonna drop it because the repair cost, a new transmission, new engine, whatever it is just too much. It's gonna be more affordable just to get a newer vehicle. And so I don't feel bad for these companies. They can blame whatever they want, but really it's your own fault, guys, for not making reliable vehicles. And you've had that reputation now for 30 or 40 years. It's like, it's not changing. So you can change it though. It's your company.
This is an issue on any Ford that has the 3.5 or the 3.7. Every car at some point in its life is going to need a water pump. The issue is that with these motors, Ford made it unbelievably hard to work on. To do this, you have to remove a lot of parts, which include the upper intake, the valve cover, the coils, the PCV lines, the fuel lines, the coolant lines, the coolant reservoir, the engine mount, the serpentine belt, which is down below, the serpentine tensioner, and then you can remove the timing cover, which will get you to the timing chain and the water pump. Once it's all taken apart, it looks like this. This is what the water pump looks like, and this is the weep hole that the coolant leaks through to the outside of the motor. Because I took it to a shop, it cost $1,581.75.
Man, if you needed another reason to hate Ford, why the would you put your battery under the seat in the goddamn work bin, man? Like, what the like, every other manufacturer, right in the hood, in the engine bay. And when it's in the car, it's real easy to get to, so you don't gotta pay for 2 hours. I'm so mad I can't even breathe.
I wonder if people realize when they buy these things, you know, which aren't cheap nowadays, full-size trucks, that when you get underneath them, you got this cardboard crap whatever, that you have to remove to get your plastic oil pan with a plastic drain plug. I mean, that's about as throwaway as you can get. And this is a #1 selling truck. I don't know. I wouldn't buy it.
Here's a perfect example of why Ford sucks ass. So, see that metal pan, that fresh pan right there? Well, that pan was originally that plastic with the stupid drain plug. It was leaking all over the place. You'd think this thing would have like an actual gasket or something, but it's literally just RTV. So I got to replace this thing with a solid aluminum pan. And not this one that you see right here. It's a solid aluminum pan with a Dorman number ending in 323. That pan will not swap out with this one. The oil pickup tubes are different. So I spent all this time pulling the diff down and all this extra bullshit on this 3.5 2018 F-150 just to have to return the oil pan because and buy a freaking pickup tube and to have to return that too because the other pickup tubes will not work with this pan or with this oil pump. So you have to buy this specific part number, Dorman, and you can't even get this. If you can find one of these local in your area, you're lucky because nobody stocks this. All the other ones you see on Amazon, they have that same style drain plug. You don't want that. You want one like this. How much better of a design is that? You would think Ford would come up with that themselves, but they're not going to. So you got to drop. I think you could probably get to this without dropping the differential. You're probably gonna have to remove these oil cooler lines with coolant, but trans cooler lines. I mean, as you see, I just have them clamped off. But who makes a plastic oil pan? Look, plastic trans pan too. Just engineer a steel stamped pan. Is it that hard?
Of course it's starting to die. 2022 Ford hit its warranty, so you get 36,000 miles or 3 years, right? So we're good still on mileage, just barely. But we just passed the 3-year mark last month, so we'll see if warranty covers it. But watch this shit. Hit the button, roll the window down. Window roll. Go to roll the window back up. Hit the button. Window doesn't roll up on its own. It automatically rolls back down as soon as it hits it. So you gotta just play with it. You gotta just go right when it gets to the top. You just gotta let go of the button so it doesn't force itself back down. So now I gotta go take it in to get it fixed. Hopefully it's covered under warranty, but we'll see. Another reason the Ford Motor Company sucks is this fuse box in your Expeditions, F-150s, in the early 2000s. These relays right here, notice they're the same, are soldered in. This one here controls your fuel pump. It cannot be replaced. I mean, it can, but you have to take it all apart and unsolder it from the board and solder it back in there. You could do it yourself. Only problem is, as a shop, you can't really warranty that because it's not an approved Ford fix. So what do you have to do? Buy a new damn fuse box. So I got to transfer all the fuses and other relays to here. You know, you've got relays here. How hard would it be just to make the fuel pump and be replaceable? Ford, you suck.
This right here is one of the worst cars ever made. I don't know how a car can have that many issues. The 2012 Ford Focus. Client came in, he's trading this in for a Kia Sportage. I test drove it. Transmission was kicking a little bit. With these cars, you got more chance for the transmission to give you issues than not. Also, client told me that the rust was only on the surface and it wasn't something deep. I literally just put my hand underneath. Look at this. Look at this. Whoa. He's asking $4,000 for his car. He told me that he got ripped off and he bought it a few months ago. The previous seller hid this rust. The mistake he didn't check the frame. Please, before buying any car, check the frame, check the rust, because this is really important. Also, make sure you're careful with the Ford Focus from 2012 to 2016, the automatic one with the worst transmissions ever made. Heavy frame damage, transmission issues. Yeah, I'm gonna go break the news to my client and tell him that his car is a scrap car.
What the fuck?
Come on, start the truck.
You know what's funny about it? It thinks it's a GM.
Come on.
Fuck.
What's the issue?
Good question.
Press on the brake.
I am.
Let off the brake.
Hold it up and park. What the hell did we do to fix it last time? Stop! Don't do that!
Come here. This message is for Ford Motor Company. I'm sick of this crap. Why? Why is there no full view available? Why? Why can't I look at full screen? Why do you put the little black box on there that says full view not available? This is stupid. Why? I know what you're saying. It's probably a safety feature so I can't watch it while I'm driving. But why? Why let me watch it with a little box on there? Huh? That's stupid. Just turn the whole thing off. Don't even make it a feature. Anybody know how I can take that off?
Here at Ford, we designed this fucking shifter that we spent thousands of dollars to engineer because we know that our blue-collar customers can't go a full work shift without gooning at least once. So we made sure that we gave a place for them to put their laptop. Like we said, we spent a lot of money designing this shifter, but we needed to make sure that they could still put their laptop on their center console. Meanwhile, we completely ditched this timeless design that was honestly perfect, where we put the shifter on the steering column, where you actually had an entirely flat space and a third seat.
All right, to check the trans fluid level in this F-150 here, you just got to take this little cap off and then you could reach the tiny little plastic dipstick. But in order to check it at the correct level, you have to have the vehicle at operating temperature, or at least the transmission fluid. What's great about that is when you get this trans fluid to operating temperature, this cat right here is 13,000 degrees, and you can't get your hand up in here without losing the back of your hand. It's fantastic.
For decades, Ford built its reputation around vehicles that were known for being tough, dependable, and easy to maintain. From work trucks that spent years on job sites to family vehicles that stayed on the road for hundreds of thousands of miles, many customers trusted Ford because they believed they were buying something built to last. But today, a growing number of owners are starting to question whether that same reputation still exists. The biggest concern for many customers is the gap between rising prices and the ownership experience that comes with them. Ford trucks and SUVs have become significantly more expensive, with many new models reaching $60,000, $70,000, and even higher. But as prices continue climbing, some owners feel the quality and reliability have not kept up. Instead, more customers are reporting electrical problems, mechanical failures, and frustrating issues that they never expected from a vehicle that is supposed to be brand new. One complaint that continues to appear is how complicated modern Ford vehicles have become. Today's vehicles rely on an increasing number of sensors, computer systems, and advanced electronics. While these features can add convenience, many owners feel they have also made repairs far more difficult than they used to be. Problems that were once simple fixes now often require expensive diagnostic equipment, specialized software, or dealership involvement. For some customers, it has created the impression that modern vehicles are becoming harder to repair by design, leaving owners with fewer options when something goes wrong. Mechanics have been seeing these changes as well. Many talk about spending more time diagnosing electrical problems, tracking down software-related issues, and dealing with repairs that require replacing expensive components instead of fixing smaller parts. The result is a growing frustration among owners who feel like they are paying more money for vehicles that are becoming more complicated to maintain. None of this means every Ford vehicle is unreliable, because there are still plenty of owners who have had positive experiences. But the conversation around the brand has changed. People who once bought Ford trucks because they trusted their durability are now asking whether newer models still offer the same value. And when customers begin questioning whether a vehicle is worth the price before they even buy it, it shows just how much the automotive landscape has changed.